Last week, Luke Skywalker appeared at the Democratic National Convention hyping up Kamala Harris for president, and it was incredibly cringe.
In the movies, I fought against make-believe evil. But we're at a time in our history where we're fighting against real evil, so I beg you, please, don't go to the orange side.
We are the resistance. Donald Trump is literally Darth Vader. It's actually painful to watch. But besides the cringiness, this also made me very sad. Star Wars is one of the greatest movie franchises of all time, with some of the greatest music and characters in cinematic history.
I will do what I must.
You will try.
I grew up watching Luke and Leia and Han fight the Empire. I grew up watching Obi-Wan and Anakin fight the Sith. Even if the storytelling is a little clumsy at times,
I don't like sand.
It's an archetypal struggle of good and evil, of light and darkness, of peace and virtue versus hate.
When I did it, they were Viet Cong.
Exactly. So were you thinking of that at the time?
Yes.
So it was a very anti-authoritarian, very kind of 60s against the man kind of thing, nested deep inside of a fantasy.
Or a colonial, we're fighting the largest empire in the world.
Right.
And we're just a bunch of hayseeds in coonskin hats who don't know nothing.
That's right.
And it was the same thing with the Vietnamese.
Yep.
That's George Lucas himself. Star Wars was born from the spirit of the 60s. It's about rebelling against the man. It's about fighting imperialism and fascism and speaking truth to power. In another interview, he said that Emperor Palpatine is based on Richard Nixon. Now, I actually agree that the Vietnam War was bad. I'm not a fan of the American Empire. But George Lucas is reaching those conclusions from the worldview of a leftist, hippie 1960s college student. The prequels make this even more obvious. Now, I love the prequels, even Jar Jar Binks.
You must have Jedi reflexes if you race bots. Don't do that again.
The Jedi are a traditional religious order trying to preserve their civilization. But at the same time, the politics of the prequels are fundamentally those of liberal democracy.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Anakin's fall to the dark side is what liberals think about us. It's the story of a young white guy who gets sucked into extremist, anti-democratic ideology.
The trouble is that people don't always agree.
Well, then they should be made to.
By whom? Who's gonna make them?
I don't know. Someone.
You?
Of course not me.
But someone.
Someone wise.
Sounds an awful lot like a dictatorship to me.
Well, if it works.
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Conservatives like to complain that liberals ruined Hollywood. Now every movie is about the strong, independent black women. But the truth is, Hollywood has always been leftist. Early Hollywood took lots of its material from New York theater, which often featured topless girls, cursing, and sexual innuendo. When Hollywood brought these shows to the national cinema, it became clear that what was acceptable in New York was not acceptable in the rest of America. So the Hays Code was born. Under threats of boycotts and bans, Hollywood agreed to the following. No depictions of suggestive nudity. No inference of sexual perversion. No depiction of children's and so on. Even back then, Hollywood was so perverse that they had to be told not to show children's on screen. What is wrong with these people? Why are they like that? Why are they so leftist? To answer that question, we need to go back to the very beginning.
All of these men who founded Hollywood were born within a 500-mile radius of one another. And all of them wound up roughly within 15 miles of one another in Los Angeles. One could say that the American dream was really born in Eastern Europe.
The Warner Brothers, Samuel Goldwyn, Carl Laemmle, Louis Mayer, William Fox, Adolf Zucker. These early Hollywood moguls had a particular vision of the American dream.
What is America to me? A name, a map, or a flag I see, a certain word, democracy.
They saw America as a melting pot where people from all over the world can come in to Ellis Island and build a new life.
All races and religions, that's America to me.
So from its inception, Hollywood was pushing a message of diversity and multiculturalism. It's easy to get nostalgic about old movies. Old Hollywood before liberals ruined it. Old Star Wars before liberals ruined it. But the sad truth is, Hollywood and Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all the other movies that we like have always been liberal. I'm not saying you should stop watching Star Wars. It's still some of the best cinema ever made. I will certainly still watch it every couple years. But we need to be critical. We can't become nostalgic for an earlier stage of liberalism. Conservatives in the 2050s will probably be nostalgic about the good old 2020s, before Hollywood was making every single movie about genociding white people. I don't mind them genociding white people, but why do they have to shove it down our throats? Star Wars is a beautiful story with some really great themes and characters. But like anything from Hollywood, like any media made in liberal modernity, it's infected. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to help the channel, leave a like and a comment. You can say anything, just say Star Wars. That will be a huge help for the algorithm. Click and watch this video right now, and we'll see you there. God bless America.